Am I good enough? It's a question that haunts many of us at one time or another. In this episode, we will explore this lie that I'm not good enough or I'm a bad fill in the blank. This may sound true, but God designed you and He doesn't make mistakes. The good news is you are good enough. I'm Teagarden, and this is episode 3 of the Unveiled podcast. Each week, we come together to invite God to lift the veil of our hearts and experience His healing joy found in bringing Him behind the scenes of your marriage. Being married is a journey of ups and downs that stretches and grows us. I'd love to travel this journey with you as the encouraging, practical voice of a friend, pointing you toward the heart of God for you and your marriage. So, lean in. One day, many years ago, I was beating myself up in my head. I had once again had to apologize to one of my children for speaking harshly. I was lost as to how to deal with their behavior, and I was really down on myself. I said, God, I'm a bad mother. These kids should have a better mom. Then, as clear as anything I've ever heard from God, these words came into my mind. If you were a bad mom, you wouldn't care. The fact that you care whether or not you are a bad mom means you're a good one. Wow. The very fact that I was trying, apologizing, and looking for answers was proof that I was doing my best. I was good enough. Isn't that awesome? That was so freeing for me. God doesn't expect perfection. It's the same for you and any other companion lie like, I'm not a good wife or I'm not a good person. You care. Therefore, you are good enough. Last episode, I described how inferior I felt when I was a young adult. I felt I didn't deserve my husband. I couldn't receive compliments very well because I thought, if they only really knew me, then they wouldn't like me anymore, or they wouldn't think that good thing about me. Do you ever feel that way? That's another lie. I often feel I'm not good enough for something that I'm supposed to be doing. I have to fight this lie over and over with the truth. I am fearfully and wonderfully made by God the Father Himself. God does not make mistakes. Therefore, I am not a mistake, and you are not a mistake. Our personality or weaknesses are not a mistake. Some of our actions are mistakes because we are human. But there's a big difference between making a bad choice and being a bad person. We can apologize and make amends for our poor choice and choose to go a different direction. When we feel we are a bad person, then we don't try because we believe the flaw is unfixable. Do you see how the enemy would want you to feel fundamentally broken rather than just convicted of an action? God says there is now no condemnation for those that are in Christ Jesus. Our wrongs have been paid for and are gone as far as the east is from the west. Gone. If God doesn't condemn us, why should we condemn ourselves or allow others to condemn us? What does God say about you? He says, you are made in His image. You are wonderfully made. You are a child of God. He has plans for you to prosper you and not to harm you. And one of my favorite things that God says is this: He will take great delight in you. In His love, He will no longer rebuke you, but will rejoice over you with singing. That's from Zephaniah 3:17. I first heard this verse when it was printed on the bottom of a journal page that I was looking at inside of a book, and I couldn't believe it was true at first. I'd never heard this before. So I had to look it up. I mean, really? God rejoices over me with singing? Isn't He pretty busy running the universe? My mind was absolutely blown by this picture of God delighting in me individually and singing over me. Let me say that verse again. He will take great delight in you. In His love, He will no longer rebuke you, but will rejoice over you with singing. Isn't that cool? We are enough. What standards are we really trying to live by? Perfection? That is not going to happen this side of heaven. Comparing ourselves to others, I do that. But God made others totally unique. They're different from us. They're not facing the same things that we are. I guarantee that empty nester's house didn't look that tidy when she had toddlers. You are enough. God is not finished with you yet, or me, but in the meantime, He delights in you. He does not rebuke you, and He rejoices over you with singing. Truly rejoices. Just sit with that picture for a moment. This week, repeat to yourself the truth that you need. I am good enough. I am a good wife and mother. I am beautiful. I am capable and talented. God designed me and said it is good. I am a daughter of God. God rejoices over me with singing. Say these things to your best friend too. She needs to hear it as well. If you're still struggling with something you've done in the past, ask forgiveness for your poor choice, and then receive God's grace and forgive yourself. Then repeat the truth out loud. I am a beloved daughter of God. My past does not define me. Don't allow the enemy's lies to penetrate your heart and steal life from you. You have so much to offer your family and the world. Thank you for taking time to listen and draw closer to the Father. Join me each week as we invite God to unveil our eyes to see clearly, unveil our minds to know the truth, and unveil our hearts to allow Him to heal the hurts there. Please subscribe so you don't miss the blessings the Father has in store for us. If this episode has benefited you, please share it with a friend and help me get the word out. Next week, we'll explore the lie. If only He would change, everything would be fine. I'd love for you to leave a comment with the truth that you're going to proclaim for yourself this week. Start now. Start today. Go in peace, you beautiful, lovable daughter of God.